What's going on, everyone? I'm glad that you're here. So check this out, 5 to 7 seconds. That's the amount of time that science has shown for you to make a first impression and for you to form an impression about somebody else. And that's kind of that point of no return. And like it or not, within the first 5 to 7 seconds, you've already started to judge the other person and form your own opinions purely based on those initial few seconds. What happens is your brain begins to put the other person into categories like attractive, intelligent, confident, or successful. But the thing is, we all do it, right? I mean, I do it and you do it. And because I've been talking here for about 30 seconds at this point, if this is your first time seeing me, you've already started to form an opinion about me. It's human nature, and it dates all the way back to the caveman as, I guess, a way to sort of protect themselves from an adversary or maybe from somebody who wanted to do them harm or harm their village. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because without even knowing, you're comparing the other person to yourself. Your brain sees other people as a comparison to yourself because that's what your brain uses as a reference point. So, say for example, if your own self-confidence is low, when you meet somebody with high self-confidence, you might feel maybe threatened, or maybe you won't like them because they're different than you, or maybe you think they have something that you wish you had. But the real problem comes when you act on your impression and then treat somebody in a way that's disrespectful or inappropriate. Because if the person doesn't immediately fit into one of your brain's preset categories, what happens is you stare at them for longer, giving your brain more time to figure all that out, which can make the other person uncomfortable if they notice that you're staring at them. And if you just met this person and you're staring at them trying to figure things out, their first impression of you is that you're kind of awkward. So the question now is, how can we as individuals make good first impressions? And the first way, and I'm sure you knew this was coming, but is to look put together. Studies show that 55% of a first impression is based solely on appearance, because it's hard to say anything in like 5 seconds to make that good first impression. The visual becomes extra important. And you don't have to dress crazy over the top, but just neat and put together. And I've already talked about this a bunch in other videos, and it's not that you always have to look super formal, right? The key is just wearing clothing that fits your body well and is age appropriate. And look, before we get too far into this, let me just say, for the record, that you don't have to live your life worrying what other people think of you, because that's not at all what this is about. This is about getting more out of life, advancing your career, finding a relationship, being a good human, and having better social experiences. And right alongside appearance is your grooming, right? This includes your haircut and any facial hair. And one thing I will say, as we get older, random hairs start popping out of places that they never did before, and it's your job to stay on top of all of that. Because how many times have you been like in a conversation with someone who's got a giant nose hair poking out and like that's all you could focus on? That's why it's important to have a solid grooming routine and a solid grooming tool like this one, the V2 from today's video sponsor, Brio. This just might be the best grooming tool on the market, period, and it's the one that I use. So this is the new V2 Beardscape, and it's an updated version of their previous flagship trimmer. I love the new blacked out design and all the new ergonomic upgrades, the travel lock, and the new display screen. It's incredibly quiet to run, and it comes with this ceramic blade that will stay sharp for years. And of course, it's also adjustable, so you can dial in the right length every time. And I want to say something here really quick about the insane battery life. So this one right here is the original Beardscape that I've had for the last couple years. I got the new V2 about 6 months ago, so this one's been sitting in the drawer ever since. I pulled this out today, and it's still charged more than halfway. It comes with a bunch of different guard attachments that also make it a great tool for body hair maintenance and even haircuts, like I've done. And you can also get it with a zero blade attachment for incredibly close trimming on your neck and your cheeks. This thing is backed by your 2-year warranty and amazing customer support. So if you want to go grab one, don't wait. They gave us a special link that I'm going to leave down in the video description. And if you go through that link with the purchase of the V2, you can also get the zero blade for free. It's about a $25 value. Go check it out now because supplies just won't last. Thank you, Brio, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, the next way to make sure you make a good first impression is to not have a weak handshake. So here's something that I'm sure a lot of you guys might be able to identify with. Have you ever gone in for a handshake and for whatever reason you kind of missed and it got super uncomfortable, or maybe the other guy missed and it just felt really weird? Take it slow, look at the other person's hand, make sure you're fully engaged, grip firmly but not overly tight, and also about 2 seconds is the length of time that you should hold on, right? Just a quick firm 1,1002 and you're out. Now, speaking of hands, try to show your hands when you first meet somebody. And I've talked about this before, but if you stuff your hands in your pockets or hide your hands underneath the table, it kind of sends the message that you might be hiding something. Now, you don't gotta wave or flail your hands around or anything like that, but just try to be aware of not always hiding your hands. You can have one or both of your hands up on the table, or if you're standing, instead of having your hands stuffed all the way in your pockets, maybe just try hooking your thumb in one pocket so the rest of your hand is visible. All right, here's a few more things to avoid. So when you're in a conversation with somebody new, we all try to avoid that awkward silence. So we tend to fill the space with random chit chat. Try to avoid these topics. Avoid complaining about something or insulting other people. Another one is money, because money is obviously very personal and you don't know the other person well enough yet to talk about money. Avoid politics. And that should go without saying, especially these days. And the next one is to avoid like health issues, because that one can get really depressing and awkward really fast. Okay, the next thing to avoid is constantly checking your phone. I get it though, right? Especially during those times of awkward silence. So I was recently at a table with a bunch of people that I knew and then one person I didn't know. All the other people got up to go to the bathroom and I was left sitting with this person that I literally met 5 minutes prior. It's super easy just to pull the phone out and surf for a couple of minutes until all your friends come back, but instead I asked this guy where he grew up. Turns out he grew up in Portland, so we instantly had this connection because I also grew up in the Pacific Northwest, in Seattle. After that, our conversation was very easy. Okay, the next way to make a good first impression is to have good, polite eye contact. Try to focus on the individual that you're meeting and maintain polite eye contact. And what I mean by this is don't be too shifty with your focus, because people can tell when you're not really paying attention. People who maintain polite eye contact appear more confident, intelligent, and trustworthy. Avoiding eye contact and kind of looking around all over the place while the other person is talking makes you appear less attractive, less confident, unapproachable, and disinterested. Another thing, when you're meeting somebody brand new, and if you think you've got them figured out, instead of judging, try to use your best judgment. There's a difference. What I mean by this is keep an open mind. Be aware that you literally just met this person and you really have no idea who they are or even what they're all about. Your brain may have put them in the wrong category. So instead of judging based on that initial impression, try to use your best judgment and spend more time getting to know the person before you form that rock solid opinion. And just one more thing, if you have anything to add, I encourage you, leave a comment down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, please feel free to do that right now, because I'm right here at least twice a week with brand new videos. And with that, my friends, as always, thank you so much for watching, live well, and I'll see you in the next one.